The Prime Initiative.
Well, here we are again. The bullshit just keeps on happening. The maltreatment in Los Angeles County just keeps on skyrocketing. The deputies under fire just keeps on happening. Deputies are getting thrown under the bus. It's just nonstop, you know. But today we're going to talk about the Baker to Vegas boycott. Apparently, Luna has a problem with it. And he sent out this particular email stating that he's going to investigate all the people that are harassing the deputies that want to go to Baker to Vegas. Now okay, calm the fuck down. First of all, I just think it's so ironic that Luna is investigating, quote unquote, people that are being harassed and who's doing the harassment, when you yourself, Luna, are pretty much telling people that they should run no matter what, right? And of all things to investigate harassment wise in Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, you're gonna go after people that are silently protesting the Baker to Vegas nonsense. I mean, people are standing up. Deputies, line personnel, people are standing up in defense of Kirk. They're protesting. They're silently protesting. Why, Luna? Because obviously they can't say anything, and we all know. There's no secret about it. It's almost comical. Everyone knows, civilian and civilian public, first responders, people in government, everyone across the nation knows that if you speak up and say anything, especially in Los Angeles County, you are done for. The level of retaliation is like no other. But whenever there's money involved, of course you're going to get involved, right? Of course, Luna, right? Of course your administration is going to get involved. There's a lot of money to be done or to be made in Baker to Vegas, right? And I get it. There's people that say, oh, well, it builds camaraderie. Backing up your partners builds up camaraderie. There's other things that you can do. And the majority of people, there's people who just love to go to Baker to Vegas, and you guys know this is true. And anyone that denies it, come on, man. You're not fooling anyone. A lot of people go there just to cheat on their spouses to begin with. Cheat on your husband, cheat on your wife, bunch of badge bunnies and tortas that go there to get off. It's true. We all know it. It's no secret. But then again, there's these deputies who are not going to go to Baker to Vegas. Why? Because the culture is garbage as it is. And then second, they're in defense of their own brother, right? But as things go, we're going to take a look at Miss CeCe Woods, the extraordinary investigative journalist who actually went online and had a conversation with a former captain by the name of Captain Mike Barnum. I call him Captain Mike, right? I like his sense of humor too, by the way. Let's take a quick look. I'm not going to steal her fire, obviously. We're going to take a quick look at her video that she just posted pertaining to this nonsense, just so everyone can have a particular better understanding as to what's going on here. Let's take a look at this. You guys hear it? I think you guys can hear it, right? Yeah.
Good morning, Captain.
Morning.
Let's talk about Baker to Vegas.
Yeah, baby.
Let's talk about the meltdown that is happening at LASD.
Yeah, it seems to be a continuing issue, doesn't it? I became aware of the email like a lot of other folks did, and it seemed relatively heavy-handed to me.
Now, that's the email that was sent out pertaining to the harassment of people. Now, I'll go ahead and read it. I don't know if you guys can you guys read it here real quick? No, it's too small, right? The department has received several reports from personnel who have stated they have been targeted with actions of harassment, threats of retaliation, and bullying related to an upcoming running competition that is meant to foster camaraderie, health, and sportsmanship. Shut the fuck up. Look, just say Baker to Vegas. That's it. That's it. It's that simple. Baker to Vegas. Such predatory behavior is never acceptable. These accusations are both outrageous and deeply saddening, as much behavior runs counter to the values we stand for of a premier law enforcement agency. Really? You have values? Could have fooled a lot of people with that, Okay, anyway, moving forward.
Me relative to the department's response. And I've been talking to folks who are concerned that what the department is going to do now, they're going to use this as a mechanism for chasing down people who actually arranged and are setting up the boycott of Baker to Vegas. Um, I guess it's a legitimate concern, because what the department's saying is that some people have come forward and they're afraid that they're being bullied or threatened with retaliation if they run. And the department said in the email that they're doing a thorough investigation. And what are they going to do? I mean, they're going to talk to everybody. Let's say they talk to everybody who is encouraging the boycott. Did you talk to? How did you say it? When did you say it? Did you
Well, I'm encouraging the boycott. So fucking what?
threaten them? I mean, that will be literally hundreds and hundreds of people who are participating in the boycott. And I just don't think it's good for the good order of the department to be doing that. I think the sheriff should just acknowledge the fact that people are understandably concerned about his actions. But I will say this, that if in fact bullying and threats of retaliation are taking place, it's inappropriate, it's unprofessional, and it should stop immediately if it's even begun. But let's say you've got 10 people who have complained that they're being bullied or asked or told not to run. Well, then deal with those 10. Take their complaints and see if it expands from there. I don't know why you would send it to 17,000 plus employees, telling them you're going to crack down on these folks.
I'll tell you why they did that. It's just a display of force. That's all it is. We'll keep going because obviously it's working, right?
When who knows how the information was even relayed to them. Hey, you're not going to run, are you? Well, is that bullying? And is that threats of retaliation? Is that hazing? Is that gang activity? That's another one that
Well,
they
if anybody is participating in gang activity and bullying, it's him. I've
100%.
experienced it. Right there on the last YouTube I did on the leaked audio, they're basically saying, "Oh, we're gonna investigate this." More threats, and actually, the threat was lobbed not only at the deputies but basically towards me for leaking the audio. It's all about standing up to authority, period. And it seems like Luna.
So what she's talking about, obviously, you guys already know. I'm pretty sure you guys do. There was um, a meeting that happened in Lancaster where Sheriff Luna went down there to talk to the troops. He specifically asked not to record his speech, right? Which, of course, in turn they did, and it was great. Um, the message that was there was obviously he was trying to do some damage control, and then he went on to talk about how he has feelings too. I guess whatever the fuck. Well, you know who else has fucking feelings, Luna? The 12 people that committed suicide. That's who had fucking feelings. But obviously, we're concerned about yours, right? We gotta respect your feelings, right? We gotta respect your feelings.
Just does not like anyone standing up to him and putting him on the hot seat. He like freaks out.
Well, didn't he threaten and or bully you with some kind of legal mumbo
Yes.
jumbo
he
back
did.
a couple
Yes.
months ago?
For a tweet that I a post on X, I basically was hearing that his health is not in a good place. I posted a tweet that that's what I was hearing between both departments, meaning Long Beach Police Department and LASD, and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I just kept getting pounded with the same texts over and over and over again. So I put it out as a, public interest. Hey, this is what I'm hearing. And Luna didn't like that. From what sources tell me, it is affecting his fundraising efforts because people are like, "Hey,
You see my point? You hit them in the wallet, and that's when they start doing something, right?
if you're sick, why do I want to put any money behind you?"
Right.
So I got a lawyer letter, a 5-page lawyer letter filled with lies and intimidation and nothing to back it up, basically. But yes, it
In true LASD fashion.
seems like this administration likes to just lob a bunch of threats out there to get deputies or journalists to comply, and that's not how it works. Can you give us a little bit of background on Baker to Vegas so that people understand who are not law enforcement what this race is? And it's not, from what I understand, Baker to Vegas is not just an LASD event. There are other law enforcement agencies that participate, right?
Well, back in the day, it used to be the Death Valley Run. People would run, and it was and created and sponsored by LAPD, and then the sheriffs joined in, and it became a real good, mechanism for camaraderie between the two agencies. Then they made a pretty good decision to take it out of Death Valley, and they moved it through the Baker to Vegas, which is what it is now. And it's gone through several iterations through the years, and now you have dozens and dozens of law enforcement agencies from across the country and the world. I mean, Australia shows up, the FBI, DEA,
Wow.
local law enforcement agencies. They fill Vegas. There's thousands of people involved in it, and each, sheriff's unit nowadays, pretty much all of them have a Baker to Vegas team. Some are good, some of them aren't. Like you've got SCB out there running a couple of teams. You have the sheriff's elite team. You have the
On that note, I could have sworn that there was a women's team and they were total badasses. They were like top tier, you know.
the LASD women's team, which
Oh,
is probably one of the best in the country. And they go out there and they kick butt across the desert for a couple of days. This year it's coming up, I think the second week of April. And, the folks on the department have been so upset and disgruntled and feeling like they're being ignored and demeaned and just brushed off by the one bad step after another that the management's been doing. They're like, you know what? We're going to sit this one out. And it started small. A couple of units decided, we're not going to do it. And it's grown to where now my understanding is, based on other information, is that there's at least 26 sheriff's teams that aren't going to be running. And when you take the runners and the personnel, the backup personnel involved, and the people that are going to go root on their unit, you've got up to 100 people per unit that are going. 26, that's 2,600 people. So you're gonna have a couple of thousand people not running in protest. And it stems from the Deputy Trevor Kirk case, but it's gone way beyond Deputy Kirk.
Yeah.
People.
so you see, Kirk, if you're watching this, there's people that are backing you up, man, and as well they should, as well they should, and you have a lot of civilians as well, myself, other people in the public, family members of the department, people are standing up and speaking up in protest. In speaking to the deputies, there isn't so much that they can do. We always go over this same thing, that why don't deputies speak up? We've covered that before. They can't. There's many reasons as to why. You know, the one thing they can do is do a silent protest, which is what they're doing. They don't want to go. They don't want to run because they've been mistreated. They're continuously being mistreated, and as of late, it just keeps on skyrocketing out of control. This is what happens when you have incompetent leadership. This is the thing. Speaking about incompetent leadership, I actually have something to talk about with the Century Station coming up here. But deputies, you ask any deputy, you ask anyone, officer, line personnel, military, anyone that works in conjunction with that of ranks. Men and women don't follow fucking stripes and bars. They might be respectful and say they're sirs and ma'ams, obviously pertaining to orders given, but they don't follow that. They don't follow blindly stripes and bars. You know what they follow? They follow people. People and their actions. And under Luna's administration, those actions have been nothing but dog shit and throwing their own under the bus. It's a continuous thing. But now it's blowing up. Because why? Deputies are fed up with it. Deputies are losing their lives, committing suicide, getting hurt at work. getting killed at work. All because of the treatment. And it's and what does the administration do? They're so quick to wash their hands. Same thing with the Board of Supervisors. Have you heard anything from them? Absolutely fucking not. Right? Now, just like Captain Mike just stated, there's 26 teams. Actually, I think there's a little bit more than that, because I just got word that Men's Central Jail, good old Men's Central Jail, Twin Towers, and I believe Century has pulled out as well. But pertaining to these issues going on in Century, let's take a look at this here real quick. Good old Century. You guys like this logo, by the way? Pretty awesome, right? Century is a station that's been renowned for many different things. And I remember specifically, I had a lot of partners that would love to go to Century. And there's solid, hardworking deputies that are there. You know, Century is a place to be. I know a lot of them. I know a lot of them, actually. But they're going through turmoil as well. And speaking to not only, I'm just using Century as an example, but speaking to deputies in general, from all walks, right? From all positions, custody, courts, patrol, special units, you name it. They're all afraid. And I want to use that term loosely, afraid, more like hesitant, to doing certain things when they're on duty. Because of this Trevor Kirk case, this political bullshit that happened to him, they're afraid to do their fucking job. And that puts us, the public, in danger. Because again, here we are, and you know, there's certain people in the public that have the reserved feelings pertaining to what's going on with the deputies, you know. But the deputies are there to assist. I mean, that's what they were appointed there to do, right? And the more and more you get to really know deputies, you get to have a stark understanding as to why things are progressing, why things are the way they are. But they're there to assist. And not only are their leaders turning their backs on them, but they're purposely throwing them under the bus. Why? For their own political gain. Kind of like Lieutenant Martinez and Merchain or Mercane, whatever the fuck. They're in Century. You guys continue to treat your people like shit. Not only that, you throw them under the bus as well. They're not happy. You know, and what saddens me is that whenever I look at a lieutenant or a sergeant, because there's a lot of amazing ones out there. I've met them, I know them personally. Amazing. But they never get the recognition. You know who gets the spotlight? Is assholes like those lieutenants. Luna's flunkies, his little cronies. That's what's going on in Century. Not only in Century, in other stations as well. There's certain lieutenants that just shouldn't be there. Kind of like in North County, around NCCF. I mean, what is it with you guys? Do you guys get in a fucking circle jerk and kind of brainstorm? Oh, look over there. There's a hard-charging deputy. Man, that guy or girl is one solid deputy. Let's paper fuck him. Let's see how we could get him. You know, he's pretty prestigious too. Let's just see what we can find on him, right? All for your political fucking gain, for that paycheck, that percentage, right? Well, the deputies are speaking up. Deputies are speaking up. Especially with this going on right now. We'll go back to the photographs here. Pardon me. Where ALAT's put out this particular headline here. Staffing crisis deepens, wage and hiring freezes threaten public safety. The Board of Supervisors have apparently signaled their intention to provide zero COLA, 0% cost of living adjustment for all Los Angeles County unions, resulting in approximately 100,000 critical workers taking a wage freeze or worse. Along with this came notice of an immediate hiring freeze. Okay, here we go again. Thanks, Board of Supervisors. You guys, the morale in the county is the lowest it's ever been because of your bullshit. It's horrendous. It's a literal fucking dumpster fire. And who's paying the price? All of us, except you. But that's going to change soon. Oh, yeah. It's going to change soon. Going back to the task at hand, here's something else here for you. Again, getting back into talking with the deputies, I asked them specifically, how do they feel about everything going on? You know, because at the end of the day, apropos to what we're talking about, these are law enforcement officers. They're there to assist us, right? They're there to help us. So in turn, our civil duty is to help them, right? But I asked the deputies and other line personnel of different ages and different years on. I got ones that just graduated the academy. By the way, congratulations to the previous class. Please say he to what's going on. Congratulations, though. And talking to the recent deputies that just graduated, and also the ones that have 5 years on and then up to like 25, 30 years on, they all say the same thing. They all agree in one particular thing, and that is, Luna, you need to go. They cannot do their job effectively. You, your administration, the board of supervisors have run amok. And it is nothing but a dumpster fire in Los Angeles now. That's what they're saying. But you know what? Let's take a look at this email I received when I asked them. So you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and read it off to you. Bro, board of supervisors at Luna had a department fucked up and in shambles. Then you guys wonder why the fuck your turnover rate is so high. Why are people leaving? Huh? I'll tell you why. They're sick of your shit. It's either suicide or they get killed in action there, right? They're leaving for their own sake and their family's sake as well. And I don't blame them one bit. We've stated this was going to happen, right? And now it's coming into fruition. Going back. The department is fucked up and in shambles from the deputies being, I hate to say it, scared to do their jobs for fear of being fired for a good by the book use of force. But many deputies are single income providers to their families, and we depend on COLA, cost of living allowance, and contract pay increases. It's true. If I was a 5-year deputy, I would tell everyone to leave and go to a department that supports them. 100%. Let's take a look at the other one here. I would include LAPD and their contract and how ALADS isn't even meeting with the Board of Supervisors on a regular basis to discuss the contract negotiations. And Luna doesn't even seem to care. These are your troops. We, the deputies, have been on ALADS about the contract since July of 2024. It's almost a year now. And they simply give the generic BS answer, reply, it's being discussed. Wow. I don't blame the deputies for wanting to leave. The lack of pay increases, right? The treatment, the way they're being taken care of. You know, the stories go on and on. I mean, the level of stories that I'm hearing from the stations happening. I'm talking to other patrol deputies, and they're saying how, again, going back to what Century stated, they're afraid that one day they're just going to go 10-8 and they're going to get thrown under the bus. How could they not feel like that? Right? I mean, you have that. And then on top of that, there's the culture as well. Let me explain the culture here real quick. This is again, what I'm going to share with you are comments, and I'm going to take off their names and their tags simply because like it's irrelevant at this point, because this is something that's been going on forever. Again, this proves the culture right here. Stand by. Take a look at this. Recently, I made a video pertaining to the tragic loss of life that happened not so long ago. It obviously could have been prevented. People are, as well they should be, very upset. And of course, in situations like this, it's far too common now, and a lot of things can lead up to a situation like this. But an argument spawned between two deputies where one obviously stated that the deputies are assholes, and then the other one, the rebuttal to that were, obviously not all deputies are assholes. To which it's correct. Not all deputies are assholes. Not all lieutenants are assholes. Not all sergeants. Not all captains. I've met some amazing ones. I still talk to them today. Ex-captains, current captains, lieutenants, sergeants, line deputies, patrol deputies, court deputies, deputies that work at the hospitals, custody assistants, security officers, medical staff, you name it. You name it. Not everyone's an asshole there. But it is a little difficult to have that understanding when you're working there and everyone around you is an asshole, right? But trust me, not all of them are. And on top of that, the way I view it sometimes with some of these deputies is, or line personnel, is like that fable pertaining to the troll under the bridge. You know how he snarls and he's always angry and kills all the knights. Any knight that crosses the bridge, he'll, eat them or destroy them. And here comes a princess minding her own business, right? This is the digest version of it. Princess minding her own business starts to walk up towards the bridge. The troll jumps out and starts to snarl and lifts up his leg and about to stomp on the princess, right? And the princess looks up and notices that the troll has a thorn stuck in his foot. And he's snarling and she's about to die. To which she grabs the thorn from the foot and removes it. The troll, not having any pain anymore, puts his foot down and looks around and picks up the princess in an aggressive manner and gives her a hug. And the troll goes on about his business and leaves. I kind of view the deputies like that sometimes. Don't get me wrong. There are several legitimate dickheads in a department. And not only that, there's people who are just there to trip up others, right? But going back to the conversation, there is a lot that are just suffering. Sometimes that's how they portray themselves, right? They're assholes like that. I mean, I'm an asshole. I'm a certified clinical asshole, actually. But I draw the line sometimes, right? But I'm going to read you this comment that was posted on one of my videos here. And it proves the culture. Okay. And like I said, I obviously blocked out the names because it's just, there's no point in it. Because it's a predominant thing and everyone knows it, right? Let me see if I could pull it up here. Here it is. So these two deputies were fighting. One said, all deputies are assholes. The other one said, no, they're not. And then the argument started going on, right? To which he said, you're obviously, why are you defending all these deputies, blah, 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 this and that. To which he stated, that's the response I figured I'd get from you. Pathetic. You probably work TSB or Twin Towers. Hiding. Really? Some kind of contradictory to the argument, right? To which this person rebutted, see, that's exactly my point. You've just proved the messed up mentality of this department, Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. By insinuating I work TSB or Towers, you're already grouping me as a subpar employee. So you think you're better than those deputies who work there. You see, so this is a common thing. And I know deputies that work both those units of assignment. I love all those guys. Towers does get a bad rep, and that's because they have particular shitty people in administration there who treat their deputies like shit and purposely, show nepotism and favoritism there. Right, Smiler? Scheduling team, right? Yeah, we haven't forgotten about you. But that's why they say these things, right? And aside from that, though, it's speaking to the deputies there at Towers and TSB and other stations. It's a common culture thing. Not everyone's like that, though. There's certain deputies, actually, in actuality, there's certain deputies that work in Century who say nothing but good things about East Los Angeles, and then vice versa when it comes to other stations. But the hardcore group, this is the culture right here. This is yet again why a lot of deputies don't say anything, or just line personnel in general. It's a sad thing, and it's continuous. But here's the bottom line, guys. Here's the bottom line. All right, this is better. Here's the bottom line, guys. The bottom line here is law enforcement in Los Angeles County, you name it, whether it be LAPD, LASD, probation, all these other agencies are in shambles. And it's an officer safety issue, which means they're in danger. If they are in danger, we the public are in danger as well. And it all starts with leadership. I could assure you, public, that this goes way deeper than what you see in the news. Everything will be disclosed sooner or later. Trust me on trust me on that. It will get disclosed. But that's the reality of things happening at the moment. It goes way deeper than this. It's not just Luna, the board of supervisors. Don't even get me started with the Suros thing. Okay? This is where you have to have an understanding as to the importance of who goes into these particular positions of power. Right? But as of right now, the morale of Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, or just Los Angeles County in general, is at an all-time low. We need to figure something out, because this isn't cutting it. Just loss of life happening, right? And it's going to continue, unfortunately. So the question comes about, especially now I'm talking to you new deputies who just graduated. It's up to you guys to make this change. People are counting on you. You're going to get into your unit of assignments coming up. You're going to go through some shit. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Need you guys to stay strong. Report if something happens. You know what you need to report. And if you're too worried or afraid or concerned as to what's going to happen pertaining to retaliation, let me know. Don't you worry about that. We'll get things squared away, 100%. All right? Until then, stay strong. Well, in closing, guys, I hate to say it, but here's a harsh reality. The biggest enemy to Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department right now is Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. It's the treatment. Luna, you need to go. Get a competent leader in there. Get rid of these bullshit board of supervisors. Get competent people in there. Not just fucking cat ladies. You know what I'm saying? Until then, keep fighting.
The Prime Initiative.